Hello. Okay. Sorry, please give me a moment and please be patient today. I will start off by doing this shout out, but Windows decided to update to Windows 11 about 40 minutes before this cast. So if things are a bit off, if things are a little bit scuffed, that is why. Blame Microsoft. But hopefully the mic is sounding okay. Didn't have time to really check anything, but we're going to go live anyway. And either way, we're here with NGS Division B West, Bunker Fun Time versus Bork Side of the Moon. And it should be a pretty solid matchup. Now, if we take a look over at the standings, it is going to be third place Bunker Fun Time at 15 points and fifth place Bork Side of the Moon at 11. However, Bunker Fun Time have played one less match than Bork Side of the Moon and really any of the other teams that are currently up above them. So they are definitely in a good spot to try competing for the top of the leaderboard. If they win even one map, they're tied with Roll One Esports. And if they win this series, they'll be able to get themselves a pretty comfortable second place in the Division B West standings. Now, map pick and ban has already happened. And first pick was selected by Bunker Fun Time as a home team. And the map bans were Brax's Holdout and Battlefield of Eternity for Bork Side of the Moon. And Bunker Fun Time picked Cursed Hollow and Sky Temple. Now, and then the map pick will be the Dragonshire. And that's going to be the first map of the day. Now, Vendrick, you say you still refuse to go from 10 to 11, but the beauty of it is they never asked. They just updated it. I never wanted to either. So it wasn't really my choice. It literally just turned off my computer while I was having dinner and then relaunched it with Windows 11. I'm not even joking. But it should be pretty good. I also forgot to put on my jersey. Just, again, everything's been hectic. I try to make sure that at least the base stuff works. So it should be good from that regard. But either way, let's focus more on the game. Luckily, I don't have a sponsor, so it's okay to have these different brand names on there for once for me. But yeah, this will be a good match. And this will be a pretty fun map to have that match on. Dragonshire definitely going to be one of those maps where having that global presence is important. Being able to take down all three lanes, super important. And again, it is one of those bit snowballing maps. If you're able to take advantage early on, if you're able to get a very valuable Dragon Knight and get good value out of it, the game does get a lot easier from there. So early game compositions could definitely be more contested this time around. However, if you're able to survive the early game with a late game competition without losing too much, you can definitely come back into the game. It's going to be much harder playing into you. And that's kind of what I want to see, how these two teams kind of look at this map for it. But now all 10 members are in lobby, so the game is definitely going to be happening no matter what at this point. And normally I don't need that PSA, but I mean, we've seen how the last week went. Though we did not have a pause yesterday, and I will forever be grateful for that. So yeah, we should be having our ready check soon. It looks like one member is just missing right now, but once they're back, we can get going. Now, for Bork Side of the Moon, they do swap out their players every now and then. So their lineup for tonight, for anyone who's curious, is ATD09, Bacon, Smoke, Silver Spy, and Cutie Puppy. So they will be playing with that lineup at the very least for Game 1. Now, Bunker Fun Time going to be playing Zednem, Young Tex, Alumini Bree, Cello, and Raven X. And I'm really excited to watch this game because, I'll be honest, it's a little biased, but B West, if I was to compete in NGS, I think this is the division I'd be playing in. At least based off my rank, I've peaked at Plat 3 this season. I've had some competitive experience before, and I'm on the West Coast, so this is around where I would be. So it's a lot more fun for me to kind of watch the meta picks here because this is a lot more relevant to my experiences in Storm League. And if I ever do decide to get back into competitive gaming, this would be my experience in competition. But the ready check has come through. So we should be getting going soon. And we should be having our draft. Now, I'm wondering which heroes are going to be the most contested early on. Obviously, stuff like Dahaka are super powerful in Dragonshire. But I've noticed Rexar, depending on if a team's able to play it, can get some pretty nifty value on this map simply because they're able to take control of the shrines without leaving the lane. And they definitely lose a lot of pressure on that. But now we should be heading into draft right about now.
Dragonshire.
Because apparently the game's not showing, so that's great. Give me one moment. It was working earlier. Okay, give me one moment as I try to get that going. Huge shout out to Windows 11. If anything, I'll just do display capture, but yeah. Why isn't it showing? Okay, that was working fine until I went live. Guess I can try game capture? I know that sometimes works. There we go, kind of. Okay, this is gonna have to do for now. I don't know how great this is gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna work while I tab out, but again, I do apologize for the scuffness, but luckily we haven't missed too much of the draft yet. It is just going to be the Genji getting banned by Bunker Funtime. And after that, no other bans yet. Oh, and I should do the prediction start. There we go. Okay, everything's working. Is it scuffed? Yes. Will we get it working? Also, yes. And that's what it's important. Oh, someone's just black screen. Okay. So this means I might actually have some time to fix this. Okay, let me see what's going on here. Because window mode was working before. So I have no reason to think it wouldn't. Wonder if it could be my options here. Also got the music back on, I guess, while we're waiting. So I'm just gonna go to starting soon while I try to figure this out. So please give me one moment. All right, and we are back. Should be okay for a little bit. But yeah, either way, The next set is going to be here. We should be redoing the exact same bans. One of the players' PCs just kind of black screened out of nowhere, so they had to restart the game. Weren't able to get any bans going, and I'm sure we could all see why that could be an issue. But either way, okay, we're in the draft. I think I have everything set up the way it should be. Oh, man, this is going to be a pain. I think after game one, if the microphone is okay, if the sound ends up being okay, we should be fine going forward. And the sound does look like it's fine, so should be good. But either way, Genji going to be the first ban. Stukov to follow for Bunker Fun Time. The Haka and the Zul'jin going to be banned away by Bork Side of the Moon. And Young Tech's immediately going to lock in the Vala. Now, Vala's a pretty strong hyper carry. Scales ridiculously well into the late game, but it's also pretty strong. Sorry, but it's also pretty strong across most points of the match. But now will get countered by Sylvanas, played by Bacon, and Anubarak, played by ATD09. Now, Sylvanas actually can win in terms of raw DPS, but Sylvanas has a harder time choosing the targets for it, but also provides a bit of value with that Wailing Arrow as they do get it later on into the game. But Anubarak also going to be very good at locking down this Vala. That Cocoon is not dodgeable, and with the right setup, you can just dump everything immediately on afterwards. Now, Daicello going to lock in the Rhaegar, and Zedam going to lock in the Johanna as we're heading into the next set of bans. I mean, Bunker Funtime have the kind of composition where it's all pretty standard picks so far. They haven't really shown too much of how they want to play the game. Joanna obviously a lot better at just holding a zone. And for a map like Dragonshire, that's pretty good. Just being able to sit on the shrine. Very difficult to move the Joanna away. And with a blind as well, going to lower Sylvanas' DPS considerably. And Malthael is going to be the ban for Bork Side of the Moon, with Anduin following for Bunker Funtime. That's going to be some pretty solid bans. The healer pool only down by 2, but they're still going to have to find out who they're going to... they still need to find their healer for Bork Side of the Moon. Now, there's still a couple picks left. I mean, Brightwing is available if they want to do that, if they want to have some more of that global presence. And with a lack of overall lockdown, I think it could be good. The Soothing Mist will do well into Blessed Shield. But they're doing a pretty different strategy here. It's going to be Tyrael on Cutie Puppy and Karazim on Silver Spy. Now, I am assuming that Cutie Puppy is going to be playing off-lane Tyrael. This is going to be the Bruiser Tyrael, as ATD09 is typically the main tank, and Anubarak definitely struggles more in the off-lane. I've seen this played in Europe pretty often. I've been watching some of that Heroes Lounge action. And Tyrael in the offlane is very popular there right now. It's pretty strong too. But going to be a lot of fun to be able to cast that. As Alumini Bree going to lock in the Sonya, and Raven X going to lock in the Falstad. So they do get one global with the flight coming out of Falstad. And on the side of Smoke, they still need to pick one more hero. Most likely this will be a carry. Sylvanas does decent damage, but the rest of their team will need someone else behind it. And it is going to be the Leoric. So Smoke's in the off lane. And then this is a very interesting composition. 2 tank, Karazim healer, Smoke, Leoric off lane. Alright. So my analysis here is this is above my pay grade and not at all with anything I can analyze. So I think all I'm going to do is I'm going to yell at my screen while they're going to be doing things on the side of Bork Side of the Moon. And we're going to see what this strategy entails, but I'm really looking forward to it. I always love seeing new stuff as we head into game number 1. All right, and we're back. We're loading into game 1 here between Bunker Funtime and Bork Side of the Moon. Now, this should be a pretty interesting match, and Rock Your World is saying that this is most likely going to be the 1-3-1 with Smoke in the off lane. And that's an interesting strategy. I'm trying to see how it would work, and I'm guessing because this Bruiser Camp doesn't matter quite as much. Well, I'd assume it is 1-3-1 so much as a 1-1-3. I presume anyway. Rocky Road, I'm sure will correct me if I'm wrong, and I do appreciate if you are doing that. Oh, no, it is 1-3-1, so it's just anchoring. Interesting. I'm going to be learning new strats here, and that's always fancy. But either way, I'm going to focus up on the game, and right now, it is just going to be Smoke going over to the mid lane, while the rest of the roster does move to the bot side. They do have the Sylvanas, they do have the Anubrak, 2 heroes that are very good at pushing onto these lanes right away, and they're just immediately going to start powering down onto this bottom cannon tower, but the fight could be coming through. Zedem with a Condemn able to land it onto 3, but ATD was still unstoppable, and Bacon will be able to just jump out, and that will be that. Now, in terms of talents, it is going to be Creed of the Hunter, so auto attack Vala, and going to be the Hammerang build coming out of the Falstad. Those are the 2 typically different builds, the 2 different stacking quests. In terms of the heroes is what we're going to see, and right now it seems to be kind of a 1-2-2 composition. So that's very interesting. But now the 3 will come mid, and it looks like Rock Your Worlds was right all along. Leaking scrim stuff in my chat. I'm sure that's not what's going on, but I will still say that's nonsense anyway, just for fun. And yeah, it does look like it's the 1-3-1 Cutie Puppy just going to be sitting over in the bot side. And obviously, Tyrell's incredibly safe, super tanky, has a built-in shield, is able to dash pretty long distances, so Soak is pretty safe as long as they're willing to trade health for it. And I mean, if you're Tyrael, you can very comfortably trade a little bit of HP for that extra little bit of pressure. Now, Siege Camp's going to get collected by both these 2 teams, as now they are grouping together towards the mid lane. The Impale is going to land on it too, but it's more just to create some space, buy a little bit of time, as Silver Spine Bacon immediately going to get started on the Bruiser Camp. Okay, I think I'm starting to see the idea behind this. It's more about being able to grab those neutrals while Smoke is still able to hold the lane. So at least that's my analysis of the strat. It's okay to give up the bot side because the top side will never be in their control. And even if it is, Bork Side of the Moon will always have control of mid lane. And that's going to make it very difficult for them to play. But as the answer, Bunker Funtime, they're going to get started on this bot lane Bruiser Camp. And I think this is the proper answer. And this was my concern with this strategy. Even if you do have the anchor in the bot side and you are able to get the different camps earlier on, this bot side camp is kind of the neutral one. It is safer to take compared to trying to steal the enemy camp. And with this, they're going to have a pretty solid push. You know, ATD09 is going to come here to help support. But with the Siege Camp, with the Bruiser Camp pushing together, this wall is getting absolutely shredded already. And they don't have the wave clear to deal with this. Now, Silver Spy is going to be there on the backline. Bacon is here as well. But the entire wall is already gone. And now they're looking towards Silver Spy. One more hit. Silver Spy with the auto, the Hungry Arrow, not going to be able to fall. But Young Tex looking for the hit and unfortunately autoed onto a minion at one point during that fight. And that's going to let Silver Spy get out safely. But now Smoke also getting pretty good value for the push on the opposite end of the map. And that is where this strategy, I'm assuming anyway, is supposed to be pressuring. Just kind of to pressure out over to the stops. And now Cutie Puppy just trading a bit with Young Tex, forced to vault away. And with Hungry Arrows should be fine. But Young Tex just stacking up the Creed of the Hunter already at 45. Now they do have control and they're jumping on a Young Tex with the stunts. But the cleanse is coming out. The heals from Die Cello are going to be coming out. And Young Tex will be okay for now. Now the trading still growing in this top side. Now I believe this is a Leoric favored matchup if the Drain Hope lands. Whoever hits, if Drain Hope lands, it's waiting for the Leoric. If Drain Hope doesn't land, it's waiting for the Sonya. And it's going to be like that for every single trade. But now ITD looking for Alamini Bree. With the Bro Charge, able to land it with the Impale, and that should be it. Alamini Bree got to go down as First Blood finally got to come through, and it's in favor of Bork's Side of the Moon, but they're losing a lot of pressure in this bot lane because of it. It's going to be the fort going down, and they're trying to race on the opposite side, but they are a little bit behind. They do have Bacon and the Sylvanas. Sylvanas is very good at clearing away these waves, really good at taking down these structures, but the bottom fort already going to be finished off. And the top fort will be matched soon enough. Yeah, this is a very different Dragonshire from the one I'm used to. I'm used to seeing both teams just kind of try to fight it out in that typical 1-0-4 fashion. But right now, Bunker Funtime, they have the faster move, and they're just pressing into the mid lane. Already took down most of the wall. Zednam is going to be there in the backline. Wailing Arrow is going to come through. Or sorry, not Wailing Arrow, Haunting Wave. But Zednam starting a reload, and they have 3 in the bro charge. Young Tex is going to go down. It is just going to be the 1 kill, but Bork Side of the Moon going to be able to take control of this fight. And because of that, they're going to come to the bot lane, and they're going to start taking that siege camp. And this will definitely help with the pressure, because right now, there's no one on the side of Bunker Funtime that can safely walk bot. Zednam is going to attempt, but Zednam's kind of alone, and will use the Iron Skin just in time to prevent the burrow charge, but still in a bad spot. And with a Haunting Wave, gonna get a decent amount of poke there. Now the siege camp not going to be able to get down to the fort, but that's still going to be the extra experience going the way of Bork Side of the Moon, and they still have their own camp to take. And with that, ATD slowly taking the shrine, but unfortunately the top side will get answered by Alumini Bree. So Dragon Knight once again just going to be on the back burner for both these two teams as they focus on just pushing each other out. And now, as Vendrick actually mentioned in chat, that is the Gambit talent coming out from Young Tech. So that's an incredibly valuable kill, but level 10 is coming through. Zednam going to get stunned. 7-sided strike, not able to do too much as it mostly went on to the squishies. But I do like the attempt. They're looking for that kill once the heroics are up, but level 10 now going to get matched by Bunker Funtime. Both sides are mostly just pressuring over towards this bot side now, but Bacon and Silver Spy, they're starting to roam up. Alumini Bree could be in a bad spot, and now the trade is coming through. Alumini Bree trying to run away and will be forced to use the leap, but even that might not have given enough space. Silver Spy looking forward, looking for the damage. But ATD trying to follow and doesn't even need to be there because Silver Spy was able to get that damage all on their own. And that's going to be the 3rd kill going over towards Bork Side of the Moon. And now the fight is going to be here. Blessed Shield lands on it too. ATD starting to get low, but with a bro charge, we'll be able to just jump out to safety. And that's going to be a pretty major cooldown used there as well. That was the Blessed Shield, and they're not going to have that for this team fight. That is going to be coming through. Bacon playing forward. Cutie Puppies here as well. They're on to Zednam, but the Gust is going to prevent any further follow-up. But again, Bork Side of the Moon, they don't commit any major cooldowns as Gust had to be used to stop that fight. And now we're once again at that point. Both sides each control half of the map. And typically this map is divided vertically, but right now it's kind of divided diagonally. Kind of like this on the mini-map as they do try to jump on an ATD. And actually they do get the slow. Rain of Vengeance buying a lot of space. And ATD will go down. So that's going to be the first kill in favor of Bunker Funtime. And now they could try and look for the Dragon Knight. They will have Alumini Bree over on the top side. But again, Cutie Puppy is going to be able to take that bottom shrine. But they do have the push in the mid lane. Zednam starting to get decently low. But the Entomb comes through and it's on to Died Shell. But the Condemn and the Rain of Vengeance lands onto so many members. Zednam still tanking up the fort as Young Tex goes forward. But does take 3 fort shots. Will be forced to back away. Cutie Puppy going to try to play aggressively. But with a shield glare, not going to be able to play quite as easily as normal, as Raven X will use Flight to take control of this bottom shrine. But Cutie Puppy's here, ATD is here. But right now, there's no one here to stop this, and Dicello will be able to get the Dragon Knight. So that's going to be the first objective going in favor of Bunker Funtime, as Bork Side of the Moon have the level 13 talent advantage. But one thing that Bork Side of the Moon could try, the healer is the one that's in there as Young Tex could be getting jumped upon, gets hit with the Impale. Do they have any follow-up? They have the Cocoon on his Zednam as Silver Spy trying to run down Young Tex, but with the move speed, will be able to get away. And now it's just Zednam. I don't believe they'll have enough damage for that as Bacon's just trying to DPS back onto this Dragon Knight. Will get punted away. And Zednam still in a decently bad spot, but as the main tank is survived for quite a bit, but with no healer, they might have enough damage to leap onto the backside. Rain of Vengeance is going to land as well. Silver Spy just trying to survive in the back line and will be able to back away from that fight, but that's just giving more space to this Dragon Knight. And now the Dragon Knight is starting to get quite low, only 17 seconds left. If they all DPS onto it, they could try to look for this Rhaegar immediately after. There is no fort here. Dicello is in a very bad spot, gonna get hit by the Impale and the Mind Control, and will get finished off. But that's still a structural advantage in favor of Bork Side of the Moon. But the Bruiser Camp is getting started by Bunker Funtime. Bork Side of the Moon, they don't want to play into it. They do have the healer down, but it's still a dangerous position. And they can just use their black arrows to start pushing in through the mid lane. Siege Camp also gets locked in by Raven X on the bot side. Rain of Vengeance is going to land onto ATD. Will be able to just jump out, Haunting Wave into the backline. Smoke is here. with the Entomb, but will elect to just back away passively with the Wraith Walk. It's very safe. And we're going to reset for now. Now to take a look at what exactly we have, it is going to be only the one death on the Vala, so only 5% attack speed lost from the Gambit. So still pretty solid value from it. They'll still have 20% attack speed. Not to mention all the extra damage from the Creed of the Hunter stacks. And it will also be 47 stacks on a Gathering Storm. So not the best, but not the worst. Already has the extra bonus. We'll be able to fight for it, but now they have the engage onto Raven X, but no further follow-up. The Impale will land on it too. And interestingly enough, I don't think I've actually seen Judgment used yet. So that will be at least the first cast that I've noticed. Whether or not I filmed one or not is a completely different story potentially, but that will be the Bruiser Camp going over towards Bunker Funtime. Level 16 about to get hit by both teams, but Bork Side of the Moon will be able to get it first. And now they're just pushing into the mid lane immediately. They have the Shadow Daggers, they have the black arrows, and that will be the entire mid lane wall getting finished off here. And now with that, ATD will back away. The wave is fully pushed in, and they do have to deal with the Bruiser Camp over in this bot side, but their top lane is pushed in pretty handedly, and they should be able to control at least one of these shrines. Smoke is just going to be roaming up top, but all 5 members of Bunker Funtime looking for this bot lane play, as ATD actually going to try sneaking this. I don't know how well that's going to work out, but with the Burrow Charge, we'll be able to just leave as Cutie Puppy just trading into Young Tex. But Dicello has the chain healing. They will be able to heal back up. And overall, we'll be safe as Raven X is going to use Flight to get to the top side. As now this could be an opportunity for them to fight. And Leap actually going to get used, but it is only going to get used onto the Sylvanas. Bacon is still alive. They have the Mind Control. They have the Impale and the Judgment after that. But they will be able to take down the Vala. That's another stack gone. Zednam will follow. Raven X is still alive. Will gust them back into the fort, but Black Arrows have been used for safety. Dicello going to get hit by one, but not going to get hit by the Impale. Ancestral Healing will come out. Will it be enough? But no, with Bacon and Silver Spies damage, that is going to be a 3-for-0 and make that a 4-for-0 as Cutie Puppy able to take down the Sonya in the off lane. And with that, they have a massive wave pushing into this top lane wall. Cutie Puppy just going to slowly but surely start burning everything down, and they will be able to get the Dragonite here as well. It looks like they're going to be giving it over to ATD. And now it's time for Bork's Side of the Moon to answer. After that play, they have about a level and a half lead going into this Dragonite push. Let's see how much more they can get out of it. Now they are going to be starting over on this mid lane fort. That'll be easily finished off. Now, do they want to go bot or do they want to start going for the wall? It looks like the idea is to go bot lane. And actually, the wall is still up here. So this may take a little bit of extra encouragement from the Dragonite to be able to finish off. But once again, they have the inside track. They have a very healthy Dragonite. And they have the last fort that Bunker Funtime had standing. And they still have a lot of HP. They still have 45 seconds. And can even start looking towards this bot lane wall. They could potentially look for the keep, but I think with the entire roster of Bunker Funtime here, they should be able to defend against it pretty well. But the Dragonite can just kind of walk between the two lanes, just use that little breath attack. It does quite a bit of damage. Just Aluminum Bree gonna get kicked away. But now with the Gust, they could be looking for the fight, but with Aluminum kicked away, they don't have the follow-up. Raven X is going to get hit by the Haunting Wave, and they will be able to prevent any more push as ATD going to get kicked out of the Dragonite, but will be safe overall with that Bro Charge. Just now Raven X looking for the backline, but now they have the Cocoon, and now the fight's really starting. The Entomb lands on a 2, and they have the Judgment and the Leap at the same time. Both teams just kind of DPS got to each other, but so much damage onto the backline. Bacon is still alive, but will get hit by Aluminum Bree. Cutie Puppy trying to fight on the backline, but also not looking great. Young Tex trying to catch up to Cutie Puppy and just needs a couple more hits. Will have the arrow, will have the vault, and the empowered auto will be more than enough as now they get a 3-for-0 in their favor. Now, unfortunately for them, there is no Dragonite to collect, but they can start collecting onto these waves. There's a pretty solid one in mid lane, but will get finished off here by Bork's Side of the Moon. And they do already have a wave in this bot side. They have the siege camp at the very least. The wave is in the middle of the lane, and they're going to start working on this wall as well. And they're going to get a lot more value looking at this wall than Bork's Side of the Moon did to their bot wall. And there's still 15 seconds before they have their DPSs back. And this should be the keep just going their way. Level 20 is now hit by both teams. So the Storm talent advantage not going to really be there for Bork Side of the Moon. That was a pretty massive team fight for Bunker Funtime to win. And I got to give a lot of credit to Zednem there. Able to get Condemn and Blessed Shield onto 4. And I think that on its own really turned the fight around. And then with the lead follow-up, with the extra damage coming out from Alumini Bree, they were just able to clear out ATDO9 and just kind of follow through after that. Because without the tank, it's a lot harder to play. They did have Smoke trying to deal damage in the backline. Or sorry, not Smoked. Cutie Puppy in the backline. But Tyrael isn't the best in terms of backline dive, at least not on their own. They can provide lockdown. They can stay alive for a long time. But the damage is slow. But now the next set of shrines is available now. But Bunker Funtime going to do their chores first. Going to grab their Bruiser Camp before trying to continue their push. Now, right now, with the state of structures, top lane will still be passively pushing in for Bork Side of the Moon, but bot lane will be pushing in passively for Bunker Funtime. And I believe a keep is slightly better than a fort, so Bunker Funtime will have a slight advantage there. And right now, it looks like it's definitely going to be an advantage as they are pushing for this top lane fort at the same time. And there's no one here on the side of Bork Side of the Moon. This is just going to go down. And from what I'm seeing, they could be thinking of starting a base race. Silver Spy and Bacon already there. They're just going to start DPSing onto these structures. Shadow Dagger going to be able to cancel out this wall as they look to clear it out, but not going to be able to finish it off in its entirety. And potentially a team fight is going to be brewing here. Cutie Puppy, you need to stay here. Your team will be in a bad spot otherwise. As Smoke will get pushed back, but is still alive. Cutie Puppy just jumping in and out. And now Zednem is going to get hit with a cocoon. And they're looking for the Vala. And with the Entomb, with everything blown on it, there will be a kill. Now Leap is there with the Crater. It is going to be Silver Spy and Cutie Puppy. They're both able to jump away. They got one. Die Cello starting to be the next focus. Then Zednem, and then Alumini Bree. But with the level 20, does have the massive shield, but it's only delaying the inevitable as Bork Side of the Moon get the 4 for nothing. And now they can continue their push in the bot lane. They don't need the black arrows. They have the extra shielding. They could start using it for this keep, and that's exactly what they're doing. And I think they are going to try pushing in for the game. Alumini Bree needs to get back right now to try and defend. And probably a very good thing that Cutie Puppy's Hearth did not go off. That would have been a very different fight. But now they're jumping on Alumini Bree. They have the Judgment. They have the Mind Control. And so much crowd control just immediately going to delete them. These pick-off talents are working so well for Bork Side of the Moon. And they have so many different tools that something is always available. But with that, they're able to win the last team fight, and they will win game number 1. Yes. Sorry, give me one moment. Okay, I guess we're using game capture now. That's what the universe has decided. But that was a very close game, very back and forth, but Bork Side of the Moon able to get that one massive team fight in the end. And I think that's just a great example of a game that is back and forth. You don't know who's going to win until the final straw is finally broken, and Bork Side of the Moon able to come out on top of that. And they had a very unique strategy. I don't think I've ever seen a strat like this. The double tank with Bruiser. Tyrael just kind of being played as a pseudo offlaner. I've seen full offlane Tyrael. I've never seen, what is the exact words? The anchor role for Bork Side of the Moon. And I mean, it clearly worked really well for them. The Judgment, especially in this team fights, really helped out. Really helped their single target burst comp. And they're able to take that win. Now we're going to go to a short break, and when we come back, we'll have game number 2. So don't go anywhere. All right, and we're back for game 2 between Bunker Funtime and Bork Side of the Moon. And from what I've been seeing, it does seem like the audio's been okay. We can watch the game, so Windows, Microsoft, you tried, but it ain't working. We're still going to have a good cast. We're still going to have a fun cast. Now we're headed to Infernal Shrines for our second map. Now, Infernal Shrines, ton of fun in my opinion. Probably my favorite big map. Just because the Punishers are a lot of fun. And the hero meta on this map's a lot of fun. Having that AoE DPSs in turn, stuff like Tychus, Chromie, always fun to watch and play. But Bunker Funtime gonna ban away the Stukov. Bork Side of the Moon gonna ban away the Dahaka. So we are still following more or less the same bans as the game number 1. And I'm not really too surprised about that, as I should get this next prediction going. Boom. Let's get that going, as Genji will still be the second ban for Bunker Funtime. And I don't remember who Bork Side of the Moon banned, but right now we're still following the exact same ban, so I would be surprised to see if that shifts. Unless there is something they felt they struggled to deal with in game 1. But I don't think there was anything specific, and it was the Zul'jin. Because I don't think there was any hero that they struggled with in Bunker Funtime so much as it was the team itself that caused the back and forth to happen. That's kind of what I meant. Potentially, could have been the Sonya, though. But no Sonya going to be played this time around, as Blaze is going to get locked in for Alumini Bree. And that's going to be a pretty solid offlaner. Definitely going to be able to stay alive a lot longer. It's a lot beefier. The engage is going to be slightly worse, because you're not going to have the leap, but the jet propulsion is still a very solid engage. Less range, it's a bit slower, easier to dodge, but it's a much, much lower cooldown. And on the opposite end of low cooldown, we have Bork Side of the Moon locking in Leoric for smoke and ETC for ATD09. Now, Leoric's cooldowns are pretty slow, or are pretty short, but ETC's mosh pit 2 whole minutes. Still has the power slide, still has the face mount, so it will be able to engage even without that. And now for the side of Bunker Funtime, the Nazebo going to get locked in for Young Tex and Diablo for Zednem. So it's going to be a pretty high HP lineup, really, for both these two teams right now, from what I'm seeing. The Anowin's going to get banned away by Bork Side of the Moon, but I think there's a lot of value for Tychus from either of these two teams, especially because it is the Infernal Shrines. It's going to be able to deal so much damage, going to be able to have the minigun. The overkill does wonders on those skeletons, and when you're pushing in, Odin will have a ton of value. But this time, they are going to ban away the Sylvana, so Bacon going to be forced onto something else. And I'm still going to be pushing a little bit for the Tychus. It's not necessary. I mean, there are still picks that will do just fine. But I like when I see things. I don't even know how to describe that, but yeah, we're still going to be waiting on these two picks. They still need a healer. They still need their DPSs or whatever other strategy they do bring out. But it's going to be the Vala for Bacon and White Mane for Silver Spy. They're going to have quite a bit of range. They're going to have quite a bit of damage. And Vala at level 16, once that Mana Core comes online, will also be able to shred through the Diablo, the Blaze, and the Nazebo alike. It does rely a little bit more on having Creed of the Hunter talent. It is still doable if you don't go Creed of the Hunter and you go the Hungering Arrow build, but it definitely is stronger with that extra attack speed, with those extra hatred stacks. As Deckard Cain locked in for Dicello and Hanzo locked in for Raven X. Now 10th pick. They have left it for Cutie Puppy, and last time they did pilot that Tyrael Anchor. I don't know if they would want to go the same strategy on something like Infernal Shrines, because you don't need every lane in your favor at all times, just the one. But I'm definitely not going to be able to predict what they pick. This is a very different type of team. They really like the strange strats, and yeah, because no one in chat could have predicted this, but it is going to be the Chen for Cutie Puppy, and it seems like Bork Side of the Moon really like their triple front line. And I think Chen especially is really solid here, actually. Once they get that AoE shield, then Azebo's damage is over time. So with that shield constantly propagating, they could negate basically all of it. Hanzo will be really good at taking out the tanks, especially once they get that Scattershot talent at level 16 as well. But I think I'm favoring Bork side of the moon as we head to game number 2. All right, and we are back. We are on Infernal Shrines between Bunker Funtime and Bork side of the moon. And once again, pretty interesting draft coming out of Bork side of the moon. They have the triple frontline, the Yorick, ETC, and the Chen. And I kind of really like this team comp because I think especially the Chen could just break the draft of Bunker Funtime, especially because most of their DPS is very slow. And it's not to say that it's slow, but the way that the damage does come out, it's gonna have to come through after. It takes time before it does come through. But now Zedem is going to get the push onto Bacon, but Bacon will be able to back away, just autoing on Zedem, and Zedem starting to get pretty low. It is slowly getting healed up with the potions, but not fast enough, as Bacon will be able to get the first blood for Bork side of the moon. And now that's going to be a pretty solid start for them, as it is going to be Creed of the Hunter, but 7 stacks for simple geometry already. That's actually insane in the first 30 seconds of the game. And now they're going to start pressing into this top side. It is going to be Aluminum Bree versus Smoke. And the 4-core is kind of grouping towards this bot side, as is the usual standard. Now, looking at the talents, I don't see anything else super interesting. It is going to be the Toad build coming out of Young Tex. So I suppose that is a little bit more interesting. And I think it makes a lot of sense just because they're going to be fighting into the front lines. Spiders aren't as good for that. Neither is just overall spell power. Having the extra Toads will be the biggest benefit, as Bacon and Silver Spy, they have already started on to the camp. And now Zedem could be getting jumped upon, but Scroll of Sealing going to land on a 3. And now they have chucked the spiders on a Silver Spy and Bacon. And with the poke, we'll be able to just poke them away, but they're still jumping. They do have Aluminum Bree over this backline. Now the trading going back and forth. Cutie Puppy is in a really bad spot, needs to try and get out. And without the flying kick, may not be able to, but Silver Spy has the healing. And Bacon and Cutie Puppy, and really the entire side of Bork side of the moon, gonna be able to back away safely. And that was not a position that I expected they'd be able to get out with absolutely 0 punish. And with that, they're not going to be able to steal away the siege camp. In fact, they did leash it slightly by killing one of these. I'm not even sure what they're called. Impalers, apparently, to use the professional HOTS term. But that's going to be one siege camp going each side, as Cutie Puppy getting jumped on once again is going to get blocked out, and will just be chugging on the shield, will be getting healed by Silver Spy, and once again will be able to survive. And that is kind of what I was talking about in terms of the damage being slow. With that chug ability, the stagger? Is that what it is? I don't even know. Yeah, I think it's a stagger. There's not enough damage to push through immediately. You kind of want more burst damage into something like the Chen. So once they're chugging, if there's nothing to cancel the stagger there, they will be pretty safe to just stand there and heal up, get their shield, and just kind of keep tanking all of the little dots that are coming out of Young Tex and the arrows that are coming out of Raven X. But now the shrine is active. All 10 members are on the bot side. A level lead for Bork side of the moon, but no talent lead, as now the Shadow Charge is going to be there. Aluminum Bree able to land the Gem Propulsion on it too, but Smoke still in the backline trying to buy some space, but they're still not able to get any kind of push, any kind of value. Silver Spy is in a pretty bad spot. Raveneck is jumping over the wall as well. And Bork side of the moon definitely have control of the area, but they're only tied on Skeleton so far because Bunker Funtime have been doing a better job just taking it. As Cutie Puppy just trading with Young Tex, gonna get hit by the Scroll of Sealing, but Zedem also getting jumped upon, will get hit by the Power Slide. Face Melt as well, buys a little bit of time. Bacon not gonna have enough damage to get the final hits, and is still just autoing back and forth on Aluminum Bree. And with that, they should take full control of this wave. They should take full control of this point, and they're gonna be able to get the first Punisher of the game. And it already looks like Bunker Funtime, they're all resetting. They've given up on contesting this. What they want to do right now is get their health back, get their mana bars back, and be able to defend against this. And now the Mortar Punisher is going to be coming through to the bot lane. And this one's really good for taking down structures specifically. And now the jump will land onto Zednam, but did have the shield. Will be able to survive for now. The wall not going to be able to last too much longer, but neither will this Punisher. And actually, they'll just barely be able to finish off the rest of the wall. But it is an early Punisher. The Punisher definitely gets tankier and stronger as the game goes on. And so does the team that's trying to push into these structures. But now this bot side siege camp is going to be down here as well. And they should be able to clear that back out. ATD could be in a bad spot actually at half HP. Silver Spy coming out with the heals. And now the siege camp is getting contested. And both of these teams could start looking for it. ATD will have to give it up and actually force a jump away. And it will get stolen. Aluminum Brie is here as well. Had the jump propulsion, but it is on a Cutie Pie. And Cutie Pie is definitely not their target. But very good camp steal once again coming out of Bunker Funtime. Bork Side of the Moon, they've been the aggressors on that play twice now. And yet both times Bunker Funtime just able to bring the 5th member sooner. As said, I'm going to get pushed back. Bacon just auto-attacking back and forth. Already at 79 stacks, by the way. But this Nazebo at 67 Voodoo Ritual is going to be slowly but surely amassing a ton of HP. As once again, this push is just coming through to the bot lane. Bacon just trying to get autos wherever possible. Raven X is getting jumped upon by Cutie Puppy, but is getting healed by Dicello. Should be okay, but Bacon still there, still just autoing, trying to get as many stacks as possible. And the more they get, the more damage they will be able to bring out, as these toads are kind of large. As they're looking on to Zed, and once again, just aiming for this Diablo. The face mode will be able to provide some space, but with the Shadow Charge, got to be able to just jump backwards. And now it will still be the push going in for Bork Side of the Moon. ATD not going to be able to engage as Zednam. Got to get hit by the face mode, and the power slide not going to be able to stun the Diablo. And with that, Zednam's going to be able to back away. Does have the well, does have the little health orb. And now Aluminum Breeze coming in from the side. It is 5v4 here. 5v3 now that ATD has reset in favor of Bunker Funtime. But there's no play to be had unless they do want to engage onto the siege camp. But level 10s are going to be coming out soon for Bork Side of the Moon. This could be a pretty dangerous spot for them. But with Smoke running back up to the top, so they already have the push in mid. They're just going to be trying to out-soak them over in this bot lane. Or over in this map as Cutie Puppy just going to get burst down. Sorry, I was not expecting Cutie Puppy to go down there. But that will be a kill going their way. And now they have level 10s as well. And now it's a 5v3 over in this bot side. ATD in a pretty bad spot. Rain of Vengeance is going to come through. And they have so much stuns just landing onto the Vala. And that's going to be the first stack gone. 5% attack speed will get removed there. As Smoke continuing to push on the top side. But may not get as much value as Bunker Funtime are getting over in this mid lane. They're going to get those 2 kills. They're going to get this wall in its entirety. And they've closed the level gap. In fact, they're the ones that have the lead now as well. Now, Scattershot, Simple Geometry is fully stacked now. So that's going to have the extra 2 arrows coming through. But once again, they're just able to push into this mid lane. They've already started damaging onto the fort. And the mid lane shrine is active. They have first move there. Now, the advantage Bork Side of the Moon have is cooldowns. All of their cooldowns are available. And incidentally, it is going to be the Wandering Tag coming out. In case anyone was wondering, Mosh Pit and Scarlet Aegis. Everything else pretty typical coming out of Bork Side of the Moon. And I have seen the Earth, Wind, Fire, I think that's what it's called, coming out of some Chen players recently. Especially the ones that are playing in the forecourt, but not this time around. As Young Tex is going to get pushed back by Cutie Puppy just a little bit. And they are still grouping up. It is 22-15 in terms of skeletons, so it is pretty even. Cutie Puppy just trying to build space, and neither side has engaged. Now all the heroics are back up for Bunker Funtime. Looking for the play. Young Tex is getting pretty low. Gets hit by the Entomb. Dragon Arrow gonna go wide as well, and that's a massive kill to get. As Smoke is right back up. They have the power slide. Do they have the face mount? No, but they do have the Apocalypse. Not going to land onto it, but will buy space now. Scarlet Aegis coming through Zen. I'm still getting chased, and they're just autoing, just using everything. But the healing from Dicello is just too high. Will be able to survive. The bunker is there as well, and they are having the fun time in that bunker, so they are at least playing true to their name. But now the skeleton race is coming through 32-35. It's going to be close. Either team could get it. And it is going to be 33 237. Wandering Keg just going to start buying space. And the Frozen Punisher does go the way of Bork side of the moon. And now they're jumping onto Alumini Bree. But with the jet propulsion, we'll be able to jump back to safety. So yeah, pretty close fight. And yet somehow only one kill in that entire exchange. And it will be going the way of Bork side of the moon. But now they have the Punisher. They have the push happening in this mid lane. The Gargantuan is going to spawn. Will get killed pretty quickly. But we'll still be able to buy time because that's DPS that could have been going on to the fort. And now ATD looking towards Zednam with the face mount. Just going to buy a little bit of time, a little bit of space. They're trying to auto a little bit onto these structures, but it's very difficult. The Punisher will buy a bit of space. Smoke is here. The Entomb once again lands on a Young Tex, but Zednam is going to be able to buy more time. But now Zednam is going to be the one to go down, and Raven next will follow. Dragon Arrow does come through, but it's not enough. Mosh Pit just going to be dancing by themselves like no one's watching, but it doesn't matter because that's still a 2-0 in their favor. Now Zednam is going to be back up. Did have to burn the souls for it, but that will be the mid lane fort going down in favor of Bork's side of the moon. And now Cutie Puppies here in the bot lane. A lot of soak to grab there. And level 13 talents are there for Bork's side of the moon. And now third time's their charm. They're getting that camp that they shouldn't have, or that is not on their side of the map. But this time they will be able to take it for themselves and get that extra passive push in the mid lane. And with them having the cannon waves, with them having the siege camps, that mid lane will start pushing in shortly. Now Dragon Arrow is not up, Mosh Pit is not up. Everything else will be ready for this next fight if it does break out in the bot side, as they are trying to jump Bacon, who has lost 1 stack so far, but only the 1. So still has 20% attack speed and is still pretty valuable. And the bonus damage from the Gambit is quite strong as well, as Zednam getting hit back with a Wandering Keg, and they're just chasing onto this Diablo. Smoke is here as well. Has the extra stun with the Rain of Vengeance. Will have more than enough damage, or so I thought, but they is still alive. But not going to be alive for long. As the Alumini Bree also goes in, gets hit by the Power Slide with the Entomb. Bunker is going to come through, but there's nowhere else to go after Bacon. Going to immediately take that down, and Alumini Bree will follow. And with the Wraithwalk, Smoke will be able to back away as well, as it's another 2-0 in favor of Bork's side of the moon. And they're just kind of struggling in these team fights. Cutie Puppy just jumping in, not too frightened, and it's just auto-attacking Bacon, going really aggro, going to dodge the Scroll of Sealing as the Gargantuan is going to be in the way, but they're just going to clear it out, and they're going to feel great about it. And as I was saying, they do have the passive push in the mid lane. Already took down most of this wall, and actually will be able to finish it off, as Zednam wants to come down here and defend this fort instead. Now they do have the extra potions. It is going to be the potion of shielding, but Zednam is going to try walking forward, but again, just trying to build some space. Bacon auto attacking back, could be in a bad spot, force the wall away, but with the Wandering Keg will be safe. And with the Frogs, with the Stormbolt, they do have the Dragon Arrow on the 3, but Scarlet Aegis does come out. Bacon still able to auto attack. Smoke is here as well with the Wraithwalk, and Young Tex this time going to be just outside the Entomb. So they're not going to be able to continue onto this push. At least not with the team fight. They're still walking forward. They're still trying to take this fort. And bit by bit, they're getting damaged. They have level 16 talents. And now the Mosh Pit once again just going to be dancing to themselves. Stay a while and listen has been thrown out. But it is Smoke and Cutie Puppy. And when you have a team comp that's just this tanky, they can keep trying. They're not really losing much for this. And now the entire team is here. They're going to be going for the Skeletons. They still have the talent advantage. Needs half a level on the side of Bucket Funtime before they can match those extra talents. So it's only going to get harder for them, as Mithril Mace is going to be the quest coming out of Smoke. Now, does take time to stack up a bit, but will eventually have a lot of DPS available. And once again, it looks like Bucket Funtime, they don't want to contest this. Alumini Bree is just going to be pushing out the top side. May be able to take down this fort. I think most likely will, unless the Bork side of the moon do send someone back. But I think Bork side of the moon, they're willing to trade it for this bottom fort and then maybe something else. Although, as I say that, Smoke is just going to be walking up to the top and should be good from there. But now they will clear away this bot side fort. This top side fort will survive. So they're not going to lose that either. Not going to be able to trade that back. And now the Arcane Punisher is going to be there, jumping onto Zednam. They have the Dragon Arrow onto the back line. as Bacon and Silver Spy try to back away to safety. They have the Apocalypse as well, but Bacon is still alive, and the Wandering Keg just buying so much space. Bacon once again just rolling away from the backside, and Alumini, Bree, and Dicello, they're chasing on to Bacon. Will get the little bonk stun, and with the slows, they're still trying so hard to kill Bacon. Silver Spy trying to keep them alive. Will get rooted up. Crimson Aegis is going to come through, but now Cutie Puppy and ATD, they are back. The Punisher is still pushing on the backside, and now they're dancing with the ATD. Sorry, ETC or ATD. So hard trying to say both, but it is going to be the 1-for-1 so far. Silver Spy in a bad spot, but Bacon dealing so much damage to the Pyromania. And now this should start going in favor of Bork Side of the Moon. They have the one true carry, and it is Bacon. Stay a while and listen. Is going to get hit onto one. Gargantuan stomping on the back line, but the shielding, the healing coming out of Silver Spy. Dicello getting rolled on. Will be able to dodge away on the stun as Bacon just trying to DPS whoever is in front. Dicello so low, but will survive. Bacon splitting the folks a bit too much, but that's still going to be the teamfight victory in favor of Bork Side of the Moon. Now the Punisher is gone, did get finished off by the fort, or sorry, by the keep, but they were able to take the keep down to half HP. And now all 5 members are going to be up now for Bunker Fun Time, and it looks like they want to continue to fight here. Dragon Arrow is gonna go wide. Field goal gonna land as the Cutie Puppy just gonna use the Wandering Keg, and we'll be able to just back away safely. Bacon in a bit of a weird spot. Same with Silver Spy, but with the healing, should be able to back away. But Raven X with the Stormbow gonna be able to get the kill. And now Cutie Puppy jumps in with a flying kick. Should follow as well, and that's going to be a 2-4-0 in favor of Bunker Fun Time. Now, Bork Side of the Moon will be able to take this camp before Bunker Fun Time get there. And they do have a pretty solid push in the top side as well. With that Bruiser camp, they have a push in the mid lane. In fact, the mid lane wall is gone. The top side fort got finished off during that play as well. But they will finally be able to get themselves something back. They will finish off this bot lane fort. But there is an aggressive play in the top side. Bork Side of the Moon, they want this keep as well. Or I say as well, but they didn't get the bot one. They're playing for it immediately. They're already onto this keep, already going to take it to half HP. Their propulsion going to land on all 3 members. Power Slide just to back away. Young Tex looking for the backline fight, but they do spot them out. And will try to use the Slime Ball to prevent smoke, but the Dragon Arrow going to land on Bacon. But Bacon will be able to stop the push for a little bit, but will get hit by the scatter shot, and that's going to be another kill going the way of Bunker Fun Time. They're starting to press forward. They're starting to play aggro, and they could take this fort down as well. Gargantuan even going to get utilized. I believe it's a Gargantuan. Yeah, okay. I remember it right this time. And now they're pushing in forward. Bunker Fun Time in a really good spot, but they need to be careful. They're mid lane. They will lose this mid keep. I think they no longer have a way of defending it, but they will try to trade this for the top lane wall. They've already gotten the fort up here. They're going to be able to get more. And with another kill onto the Vala, that is going to be less attack speed in this next team fight as well. The bunker is coming through, and they're having a Bunker Fun Time. They're just dealing a lot of damage, but now they have smoke coming into the backline. Stay a while and listen. Gonna be able to just get caught on the end of it, unfortunately. But the Entomb is still up. They still have level 20 as well. So they're going to have that silence as the Wandering Keg just pushing them all into the corner. Raven X is in a terrible spot. Gonna get pushed into everything. And the forts will have more than enough DPS as now the silence is coming through. The Entomb, and they will be able to take down 2. How much more can they get? They have the Installable coming out of the Crimson Aegis. And now Bunker Fun Time, they have to back away. They lost 2 members, and they lost their mid lane keep, and there's a pretty solid wave building up there as well. Now they should be able to defend against that, but this Punisher will be able to provide a ton of pressure. This keep isn't too healthy. It's just below half HP. They are going to get their level 20s, so they will have their Storm Towns coming out now. But I mean, this is going to be a very difficult defense for them. They didn't end up finishing this keep either, so they're not going to have that extra pressure coming out of the top side. And now we're just going to watch them collect their skeletons as the waves are going to get pushed out by Bunker Fun Time. And I think this is going to be their last stand. They need to have a good team fight here if they want to have any chance of coming back. Now, in terms of stacks, it is 206 on Voodoo Ritual, 219 on Created the Hunter with 2 deaths though, so minus 10% attack speed, but plus 4% per hatred stack. And now Mithril Mace is going to be getting stacked up pretty heavily as well. Ready at 72. Now the Punisher is going to jump onto Zednam. They're trying to burst down this Diablo. Teleport is going to have to get used. Crimson Aegis also pops on the backline. ATD starting to get burst down. Apocalypse is coming through, but not going to be able to land onto any member. Alumini Bree is on the backline onto Bacon, but they do have the Hanzo caught out. But stay a while and listen. Is going to be there. It is going to be ready. And now once again, the bunkers are coming out, and all of their members are hiding in an ATD in the backline. Will start using that mosh pit, and they will be able to get Alumini Bree down for it. And now with the jet propulsion, they will be able to get on to one, so they will trade. But they do have the dance coming out afterwards. It is a 2-for-1 so far. Make that a 3-for-1, but Zednam will respawn. Had the souls. Could start playing aggressively here. And now Cutie Puppy in a bad spot. But again, this Chen is so tanky. And now they have Digello in a bad spot. Bacon will be able to finish it off. Autoing on to Zednam. And now this should be it. Young Tex can try to defend, but the safety is too much there for Bork's side of the moon. They have enough healing. They have enough everything that they need. And jumping onto Young Tex as well with the extra silence, with the extra autos. It will be that 5th and final member going down as Bork's side of the moon get the domination. And welcome everyone from Plasticine X's channel. And welcome the Line Bus if it was your raid. I assume this was for GGS? Girls Gank Squad? Yeah, it should have been. It is Friday night. But y'all actually got here right at the end of the series. It was a 2-0 for Bork's side of the moon. And this was a pretty good series there. Now, with this, we are going to be able to try and get an interview. So don't go anywhere quite yet. We still have just a little bit more content left. Let me try and fish someone out from one of these channels. I'm just glad that this cast ended up going okay. I was so worried since I got upgraded, quote unquote, to Windows 11. Yeah, hopefully someone will be able to join. Let me just get that set up while I'm doing that. And it was a little bit unfortunate you got here only at the end of that series, but at least you got to see that pretty fantastic finale, if I do say so myself. Huge team fights coming in, lots of damage coming in from both those teams, and I mean, it was a close series. This was a domination for Bork's side of the moon, and I think they definitely deserved it, as I should give people their points. That's probably an idea. And let me make sure I click the right one this time. There we go. As the points are going to be coming through. Yeah, no one's really replying. Oh, JK. Hello, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
All right. Well, I am joined here by multiple members. I'm here with Bacon, ATD09, and Cutie Puppy. So, I mean, first of all, congratulations on your domination. How does it feel?
Thank you. It feels good. I was actually game 2 was weird because I felt like we were trolling the entire time. But it was a fun series regardless. BFT is a fun team to play, so I was actually looking forward to it for a while.
Yeah, and I guess the main question is going to be coming in. I'm sure you've probably been expecting it to some extent. Tell me about these drafts. Cutie Puppy especially playing the Chen and the Tyrael with that triple front line. So is this something that's kind of like your identity right now, or is this just something you felt was right for this series?
It's Puppy's identity. He plays weird things. There was like some idea behind it. The Tyrael was mostly, so game 1 he went like damage Tyrael, and why he picked it basically was just to be something like self-sustaining that can kind of sit bottom and like doesn't die and can like soak while we roam the map. And it was also kind of just like smack the volley around. And then the Chen was more for it was for keg. He just thought it was a good keg game, and it was also for, I forget the name of the talent, but at 13 the one that gives your whole team shields. This is kind of like a supportive thing.
The enough to share talent.
It's enough to share, yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember if it was the 13 or the one, but yeah, that was kind of the idea that he was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, it clearly worked, and I actually really like that idea. I even called it out in draft. It's very rare I call something out analysis-wise. So I was pretty happy with that because all the DPS was going to be coming out from Hanzo, from Nazebo. Hanzo has pretty long cooldowns, and Nazebo's is all dots. So enough to share really gives so much value. And it definitely showcased itself during, especially those last few team fights. There's so many moments where after all the stuns came through, Cutie Puppy was able to just stand there chugging away at that keg and keeping the entire team alive with the help of Silver Spy.
Yeah. It doesn't look like it, but that was basically double support.
So with that, let me just quickly check to make sure I'm not wrong, but that will bring you up to 15 points, and you're actually now tied with Bunker Funtime, though I believe with a head-to-head, you should be ahead of them, which puts you in third place. So we're at around the halfway point of the season, and what are your aspirations for the rest of the season? What are your goals for the regular season, and what do you hope to achieve in the playoffs?
I think just making playoffs would be like a good start. This is turned out to be like a really competitive division.
Yeah, I would definitely say, at least personally, my goal was to make it into playoffs. My goal for playoffs is to, play well. Like, I don't know if we're going to end up winning, but I think that if we all are not trolling, then we should have a pretty good shot at it.
If we're not trolling.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah, but that would definitely be a start. And I don't know, a lot of the teams that we still have to play for this season are like really fun teams to play. We actually haven't played Roll One Esports yet, and they are one of my favorite teams to play. So looking forward to some of those matches as well.
Yeah, and they were scouting out this game today. I noticed a couple of their members in chat, so may want to take a look at some of their VODs as well before you play against them.
Okay, but if I see a Chen ban, then,
You've earned it.
There will be retribution.
Yeah, and then with that, I have one final question. Are there any shout-outs you'd like to give? Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans out there?
I have fans?
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding. Just shout out to my team for playing well, and to Bunker Funtime for giving us a good series, and then to you for casting us and everyone watching.
All right. Well, once again, congratulations on your dominations, and have a good, well-earned rest.
Thank you. You too. Thanks for the cast.
Thank you.
Good night. And with that, that will be the end of our stream today. And unfortunately, there aren't any games scheduled for tomorrow. So if you want a game cast, definitely schedule one for tomorrow if you have any that are available. And if not, I'll either take the day off or I may do a bunch of replays. And that would be at around this same time, probably starting between 5 to 7 Pacific, somewhere there. We'll see on my mood. We'll see how everything else is going. I don't believe there are any other NGS casters out tonight, so I'm not going to raid out. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. And if not, I'll see you Sunday. Good night, and have a good weekend.